She's been speaking out all over the world. When Dr. King received the Nobel Peace Prize, he was the youngest person, I believe, to receive the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. 50 years later, our younger sister emerged on the global stage, and at age 15, became a Nobel laureate. She's 20 years old now, and she's already making her mark on the globe. We're so excited to have you here, Malala, and we're grateful for all that you have done and all that you continue to do. You're in America's Freedom Church, the Church of Martin Luther King, Jr. We're proud of that history. But my beloved, when you consider that children are the casualty of every generation, and that women are marginalized in almost every country and every culture, our greatest struggle for human rights and human dignity is not behind us, but in front of us. And one of the greatest voices in that struggle is here with us this morning. Will you welcome our sister Malala Yousafzai?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most beneficent, the most merciful, who is the God of all mankind. Good morning and thank you, Reverend Warnock, and all of you for inviting me to join you. This is my first time speaking in a church. I'm humbled by the welcome you have given me today. Since the 1800s, this church has inspired the world with your service and your fight for justice. I've heard about your congregation from my dear friend Eason Jordan, whose mother sang in your choir for years. I am honored to be here with you. I grew up in a small town in Pakistan, a Muslim nation. As a child, I did not know what a Christian life would be like, or what a Jewish life would be like. In the last few years, I have met many people of different faiths from different countries. I have seen the world beyond the mountains of my home in Swat Valley. Now I know that the world is big, beautiful, and diverse. I know that we have different ways to worship, but we share the same hope for peace, the same love for our sisters and brothers. It was my faith that helped me stand up to extremists and forgive the man who shot me. And it was your faith that led a son of this great church to fight for equality in his own country. As a child, I learned in my school books how Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. reminded the world of basic values we should all share: to respect the humanity of every man, woman, and child, to love even our enemies, and to work for peace at home and around the world. This morning, I visited the old church and the King Center and understand more clearly how some of the history that I read in my books. 50 years to the day after Dr. King received the Nobel Peace Prize, I received the same award. I hope to honor his legacy that day and every day. Dr. King raised his voice to change the world, and he did. With my voice, I hope to do the same for 130 million girls who are out of school today. Just like you and me, they have dreams for their future. Without education, they cannot fulfill their potential, and their gifts to the world are lost. We cannot afford to lose these girls. In different countries and communities, girls are out of school for different reasons. For some, restrictive gender roles mean girls marry as young as 13 years old. Instead of going to school, they're cooking, they're cleaning, and they're raising children of their own. In other places, poverty forces girls to go to work and support their families. Too often, in wars and violent conflicts, girls must flee their homes and their schools. Too often, they never go back to the classroom. Some girls do not have access to working restrooms at school, and they must choose between their dignity or education. Some girls have no school at all. This may seem like a faraway problem that affects families in other countries. But even in America, hundreds of thousands of girls are not in school. Like many of their sisters around the world, the poorest girls in the United States suffer the most. They leave school because of poverty, pregnancy, or simply because they do not feel safe or welcome. And I'm speaking out every day for them. I raise my voice so that we will not lose another generation of girls. If you believe that every girl deserves to go to school, if you believe that education gives girls a chance to build a better life, if you believe that 12 years of quality education is the right of every girl, no matter her race or religion, I ask you to join me and stand up for girls at home and around the world. Men and women like Dr. King, John Lewis, Rosa Parks, Abdul Sattar Idhi, Mother Teresa, Bacha Khan, and Frank and Gandhi, and many before them, paved a road to justice and humanity for every one of us. Dear sisters and brothers, we still are walking down the road today. When girls cannot go to school, the road gets longer. When families flee wars and terror, and we turn our backs on them, the road gets longer. When my father, who risked his life to stand up to extremists, is detained at airports and is assumed to be one of them, the road gets longer. When police kill a child playing with a toy, or a man out for a drive with his family, the road gets longer. When people march in the streets and proudly bear the flags of humanity's most shameful days, the road gets longer. When the leader of this country refuses to stand up against hate, the road gets longer. The road gets longer. Like the prophet Jeremiah, some days I'm weary. I know you are too. I know that I may walk this road for the rest of my life and never reach to the end. But I will walk with you. And I hope that you will walk with me. We will walk this road together. Toward the end of his journey, Dr. King asked, "Where do we go from here?" His answer and mine is we go forward. Go forward for justice. Go forward with hope. Go forward in peace. God is good. And all the time. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Thank you.